Okay, welcome everyone. So, my name is Kakuza, and yeah, today we are going to be, starting our sessions for the Starknet Bootcamp. Yeah, I'm excited about everything, and hopefully everyone, gains from these sessions. But yes, expect the best, and yes, I'm going to be one of the tutors, and I'm going to take on these sessions with Mr. Lutalo Joseph Bosa. I think maybe he can introduce themselves, then he can introduce himself, then I start the sessions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kakoza. So, welcome you all to Starknet Kampala. So the whole essence of this boot camp or the base camp is blockchain is taking a trend, and it's one of those things in technology. If at all you don't jump on it right now, you are surely missing out on the train. And well, there are very many chains which are around. But I usually tell some people who ask me about blockchain that assess what you want to do in blockchain. For example, of course, the Ethereum right now holds the biggest market share, and we can see more than 80% of all the chains are built on top of Ethereum. But then every chain has what it's doing properly. So you may ask us why we are focusing on Starknet. Well, Starknet, all it's trying to do is right now is the best scaling solution of Ethereum. So gas fees in compared to other other L2s, yeah, Starknet offers 10% lower gas fees, 10 times lower gas fees in comparison to all the other L2s. L2s are layer 2s. Ethereum is a layer 1. So all chains which are built on top of Ethereum are layer 2s. But we are going to see that in detail. But I just wanted to introduce to us why specifically it's a Starknet Bootcamp. Yeah. So there are numerous advantages of Starknet. But during this bootcamp, we are going to learn everything you need to know from blockchain as a novice to a point where you get to a point where you get to that professional blockchain developer. So just with Starknet has various opportunities, more so for builders. There are opportunities where they are offer seed grants. We have we have one ramp. They have been a two-time recipient of a Starknet seed grant. So and the seed grant program is still ongoing. So as long as you have gained credible skills to build on Starknet, and you've built a product, well, you can reach out to them. Me in person have applied, and the application takes about 3 to 4 weeks for a response. And yeah, the minimum grant they offer is from 25,000 USDC, which is equivalent to USDT. Yeah, so I just wanted to unleash to us the numerous advantages of Starknet. And this bootcamp is going to be a 1 month bootcamp. Yeah, we have sessions every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. East Africa time, and it's an international bootcamp. In that, I mean that it's we have participants. Some are coming in from Zambia, and some from Kenya. Yeah, so literally there is a lot of networking amongst developers. Though even though you don't have any experience as a developer, this bootcamp is going to get you from the ground to that point where you need to build something on Starknet. I personally am going to be as well a tutor with Mr. Vianney, and we are so excited that yeah, we are pushing the ecosystem. Yeah, so thank you so much for everyone who is here. I will kindly request Mr. Vianney to proceed. Thank you so much.
Okay. So yes, Mr. Joseph has talked much, so let's dive into Starknet and yes, the immense opportunities and how you can, enter the ecosystem and stay building in the ecosystem. So I'm going to be going through, but I'm going to be looking through the slides and also going to be random, so you can literally hit me a question or something that I don't know whether I will be looking through the so you can share your questions here. Probably Joseph will help me, or anyone will help me read the questions, so that I don't keep looking into the chat. But yes, you can literally share your question as we go on. So about the bootcamp, as I said, 2 days a week, Tuesday and Friday at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 10:30, around there. So it's going to be really packed, and yes, I think approximately 1.5 months, and then yeah, I think we shall be good to go and have something or start building or like ship our products in the ecosystem. So as we always, so since we are talking about the blockchain, we are going to talk about, of course, the blockchain itself, introducing Starknet, building, and then much more. I think those will be in the next sessions. Today I'm interested in introducing the blockchain and Starknet and why Starknet and how it is. So we have already been introduced. I'm Kakoza Vianney, and yes, I'm your tutor for tonight. So you could also tell me to be slower if I'm fast, I don't know, but yeah, otherwise I will keep continuing, or you can stop me and then tell me if you've asked any question or something. So as always, since this is a base camp, there are those who could graduate, and that's the criteria. Yeah, as long as you attend and then network, do some of the exercises that are given, also register through the form. I think the form was already shared, or it could be shared again, and yes, be part. That will be good. Yeah, bonus is doing Starklings and not Guardians, as in when you enter into this ecosystem. Actually, there's a lot of builder community assistance, like you can say builders, helping builders, and then other assistance can be gotten also in other mechanisms. So yes, you can take on the challenges from not Guardians, from Starklings, or just studying Starknet and then build something. Okay, so then we start introduction to the blockchain. Yes, I think this is a topic that many of us have heard, but the blockchain is simply connected blocks, so that form a distributed ledger. Maybe you have a transaction, and then you bundle the transactions, create a block, and then then those transactions are bundled into another block, and then those blocks keep connecting themselves through a chain, so that in case someone maybe does a mistransaction or tampers with a given block, or other blocks from that point can be considered invalid. Could be something like this. So there's this website called Anderson Brownworth, so where you can test concepts of blockchain. Let me put it here. Literally in a builder's perspective, so you can have a hash function. So for hash function, you just literally have this an output with the same character length, but different for any input. So wherever you input anything, you get different outputs but same character length, and it is irreversible. So that's the hash function. So from hash function, your transactions make hash functions which combine themselves and then into one block, and then other blocks are propagated as the blockchain continues. Yeah. So for that, I think that is enough for now. So we can look at the use cases of blockchain. There are many use cases. It could be traceability, money, finances. We want more transparent money, and I think blockchain has really been a good use case in transparency in money, because we have had this legacy, like institutions like banks, where we don't know what happens in the bank ecosystem, or maybe transactions are kept in one single database, or database that are managed by a few entities, but you don't know what happens there, and you just take your money and take it out. So with the blockchain, you get the ability of looking at transactions that happen on the blockchain, where the transaction was carried out, where the money was sent to you, and other things like that have come up, like NFTs and arts. Yes, so there are quite many use cases of blockchain. You can also join the community, the Telegram community, for any updates that will come up, and probably other questions. So up to where we are, I think introduction to blockchain is one of the topics that everyone gets to. So we have some legacy blockchain like Bitcoin that started in 2009, and then we have Ethereum, which is the general purpose blockchain. So the reason why Ethereum is called a general purpose blockchain is because it gives builders the ability to build on top of the blockchain ecosystem itself, build smart contracts, and also build other programs on top. So that's where we are focused on. For the definition of blockchain, does it mean it basically applies programming skills to data handling, like money transactions? I think it is not like limited to money transaction. It is just one of the use cases, but can be used for traceability. Everywhere you want to have transparency, security, and decentralization. And in this case, we mean transparency. We mean that you can view all the transactions that have been carried out on the blockchain. Transactions does not necessarily mean money. It could be messages. It could be NFTs. Then also it is private, since you don't know the person, but you just know the wallet address. So the wallet address remains anonymous unless somebody gives you their wallet address. Yet you can see that a transaction was established from point A, or from person A, let me say Alice, to Bob. It could be a message, it could be text, it could be NFT, it could be an ERC20 token. Or it could also, the blockchain can help, like in the reason why we say it gives security is because it is not managed by a single entity. So anyone who is a validator, or who runs a copy of the blockchain on their computer, is one of the people that gives security to the blockchain, instead of having like one secured entity, like one single database. So many computers can replicate the ecosystem and validate whether the message was sent from point A to point B. Other things like decentralization, security, scalability. Actually, there are many. The other thing is immutability, that whatever you deploy on a blockchain cannot be changed. In case you want to change it, you need to redeploy or do what they call proxying. So that means that if you've said, if you've programmed something, A is going to be, I've programmed this smart contract, it will give this output when action A is done. Maybe it will give output B, and then you deploy it on the blockchain. So other parties can trust that that code will not change, because as soon as that code is deployed, it is immutable, or it cannot be changed. Maybe you can redeploy another thing. So it's just the different capabilities of blockchain that come in, and that's where we see money coming also to use, because we need transparency. Sometimes we need to know that money moved from A to B. We need to eliminate sort of black boxes that we don't know and all those things. So that's where some characteristics of money comes in, but it can be used in traceability, tracing from where the crop comes from to consumer, from the garden to the consumer, and many more other use cases. Okay, so I think we can continue. I don't know whether the 10 minutes break was there or is not there. So yeah, what is Ethereum? As we have said, Ethereum is a general purpose blockchain which is Turing complete. So the uniqueness of Ethereum is that it allows programming on top of the blockchain. So it allows programmability, so you can write other dApps or other programs on top of the Ethereum blockchain. So with that, you get a lot of advantages, and many advantages for builders and those that want to build on a global scale. So the main thing I can say about Ethereum is that as we've seen the blockchain trilemma, which is with these blockchains should be hypothetically should be decentralized, scalable and secure. So in a way that decentralized, in a way that anyone could validate the transaction on blockchain. Maybe there's an incentivized mechanism, but the rules, the consensus is simply the rules governing the way the transactions are done, or the way the messages are passed is defined and definitive. Then secure in a way that the blockchain cannot be hacked, or something like that. So again, since the blockchain does not have just a single databases, but many computers on the network validate, that makes it more secure than centralized systems. And then scalable in a way that it can accommodate millions of transactions per second, or millions of messages being passed across per second. Now this is not the ideal way with Ethereum. Though it is very secure and decentralized, it faces the issue of scalability. So scalability is having very many transactions on top of the network, like transactions that can accommodate maybe 1 billion transactions that can be passed on the network. And that's led to the advent of layer 2. So Starknet is a layer 2, and there are many layer 2 types. One's their validity, their optimistic rollups, and there are also ZK rollups. So optimistic rollups are just layer 2s that solve, all these rollups are solving one issue. They are solving scalability of Ethereum, since it is a very secure blockchain. So if a layer 2 can solve the scalability, the transactions made per second on the Ethereum blockchain, then it is completing the trilemma, the blockchain trilemma, which is what we need. So there are mainly two main types of layer 2 scaling solutions, which are optimistic and ZK, ZK rollups, which are zero knowledge rollups. So in optimistic rollups, there are those ones where optimistic rollups are those that they sort of provide like proofs to the underlying layer, which is Ethereum. What is a proof? Like they do their own computation and provide that this is true, or these transactions are true, except if someone detests that the transactions are not true. So maybe somebody writes a fraud proof. There is a window of some 7 days for somebody to attest or to say that there was a wrong transaction. For zero knowledge proofs, what happens is that they bunch transactions. So the way that that these layer twos increase the transaction is that they bundle down very many transactions into one batch using their own technique. In this scenario, zero knowledge ZK proofs, and then submit that bundled transactions to Ethereum to prove that the transactions were true and not faulty. Yeah. So and we know that ZK has been on the run. It has really matured. It is now very cost friendly. Actually, Starknet is not the one. Actually, is the most the most cheap L2. I think Starknet is competing with transactions of mobile money. I don't know. Yeah, the transaction cost for transacting a token or sending something on Starknet could be a bit cheaper or lower than the mobile money fee. Yeah, but how does so before we go any further, maybe I can explain Starkware. So Starkware started in 2017, and it first started with StackEX, which was a permissioned L2 Validium. So StackEX is one that was used to, was the underlying technology used by, it is still used by DYDX and many other transaction, DYDX exchange and many other transaction protocols that are permissioned. So, and as time went on, I think around 2021, Starknet was brought to light, which is open source, which is permissionless open source. So anyone can build on Starknet, and that's why we are here. Why should we choose Starknet? So someone can say, why build on Starknet, or what is that so much that is there in Starknet? Why build on Starknet? First, Starknet was built from the ground up as a ZK rollup. So what a ZK is, it's like let me give this example. So when you look at this hash, so for a hash, you have, for each input, you have an output of the given same length. So these digits are of the same length. If they are 24, they are 24. So they're of the same length. For any input, you get an output of the same length of data but different. So, but you don't know how this output is gotten. Yes, but you get an output hash and it is irreversible. So this is somehow similar to a ZK. So for a ZK, given so a ZK proof is a way that part B, maybe let me say part B could be Bob, can prove a given amount of computation was done by party A, let's say Alice, without doing the computation. Now, doing the computation is more compute intensive and more expensive, but proving that a computation was done is far cheaper. It's like the way you see proof of work in blockchain, whereby if somebody does the work and submits the proof, it is very easy to verify the proof to be right or wrong than doing the computation to get the proof. So this is also one of the concepts that zero knowledge proofs are based on. Let me put these links in here. So you can play around, but that's how a ZK proof works. So that's how
maybe Mr. Vianney.
Yes.
I feel we've been a little bit fast, and so some people are wondering, kind of we have transitioned to even before we grasp blockchain. So can you just maybe throw more light? Because I understand we have a lot of novice people here in regards to the blockchain field. So can you maybe throw more light on blockchain? What before you take us into Starknet? Yeah, because I saw a question in the messages.
If I'm to throw more light on the blockchain itself, good enough. So let me give, for example, a blockchain it can be in a perspective. One can be in a builder perspective, or it could be like just someone understanding what a blockchain is. But a blockchain is simply technology like any other technology. Maybe if we start from where the web started. So initially, when the internet had just come, it was mainly something which was a read only. So let me say. So anyway, yeah, it was a read only. So what I mean by read only is you could just visit a website, and then when you visit that website, you read what they have put there. So, and then we transitioned into an experience where we have like interactions. Let's say the advent of social media, whereby you could interact with another person, and the internet was the intermediary. So yeah, for example, Twitter or Facebook or whatever platforms that you use, TikTok, so you can upload your work on this platform and then other people can view it. So there is a sort of interaction. So from that, then we are shifting to another kind of web whereby you own your data. So in this current situation, you can, for example, upload your video to YouTube. YouTube owns your data. So for you to reclaim like sort of your sovereignty and what you own, so this is like the picture that that brings blockchain, or the picture that you can view where the world is going. So with blockchain, it is simply something whereby everything you do, maybe it's something that you're doing on the website, you could sign on it using your wallet, or whether you're carrying transactions, you use a media, maybe your wallet or something that shows that it's yours. And even there are new, like, it's a new thinking around the technology space. I can literally say that.
Maybe Mr. Vian, I saw you had some definitions on your slides. I saw some section where you had some definitions on blockchain. Okay. And maybe the characteristics, maybe those ones can try to elaborate what you're trying to explain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably here.
Maybe you can tell us what's so special with blockchain in comparison to what's so special with blockchain as a technology. Okay. Yeah. So what are the characteristics of the blockchain? So where is this strength? Why should I adopt to this technology in this 21st century? So you can just maybe elaborate on that.
So because very many things in the current web that we have been having don't like they don't give a person kind of, what can I say? They call it sovereignty. So let me give an example. If you, the same way you go to Facebook or Twitter, and your data is used maybe to train model without your consent, it's the same way you go to the bank and you're lied to about your money being there, yet it was already used. It's the same way. So systems have come that have taken away our consent. We just get to the web, maybe we click accept, but we really don't know, and we are not given a choice. So blockchain as a technology is one of the things that have come to mitigate that, to give power back to individual humans, I can say. Yeah. So for example, if you are to build a social platform in the blockchain space, the users of that platform will own their data in a way that, for example, if you build it, let's say on Ethereum, and maybe a user is banned from a dApp that has built on top of this protocol, a user can go with their users to another dApp that is building on Ethereum. So it's kind of like someone giving back sovereignty to users. Then the other thing you can see with blockchain is, there have been many cases. For example, now we have the issue of inflation, where governments are printing money. We don't know how much is in circulation, and this is against our labor. So this means whenever inflation comes, it means that our labor has been cheated, because this money has been printed and is being used to pay for our labor, or is even being used elsewhere. So one of the key issues of the blockchain is that it is setting sort of a stabilizer. You can like most of the blockchain, you can read the white paper, know how much is exactly in circulation because of the transparency, know things like the total value locked, and more things in that sense. There's also things I can say, for example, immutability. So immutability, consider, for example, they tell you that this code does A, B, and C, and then just in the evening the program of the program changes, and then maybe you people subscribed to a given service, and then it no longer does what you subscribed it to. Like, this is very rampant in the Web2 ecosystem. In the Web3, you can verify that the code does what it does, because you can transparently view the code and it is not changeable after it being deployed. Like, these are all I can say advantages of the blockchain. Then there is one big advantage, which is decentralization. So many times decentralization also, many times you find, like, many of us have grown up in sort of a centralized, centric society, where, for example, if you want a job, you should go, you apply, then it is taken to the office of the PR, and goes through all that bureaucracy. Now, the culture of Web3 is all about what are you doing in the space, even just the culture itself, and whatever you're doing in the space. If like, for example, you can learn Starknet and then start building your stuff, and before you know it, people who love what you're doing, or people who use what you're building, will be willing to support you. Like, it is even far easier to get work in that space because of the culture of decentralization. And sometimes these things are hard to explain to people, because we have grown up in a system where it's all about centralization, from homes. For example, things like DAOs. If I'm to compare it to a home, for example, where a father and mother make the decisions, in a decentralized sort of environment, every decision that will be made maybe after a voting session. So this is a whole, like, kind of new way of how things are. I think I've explained something about blockchains, and I think that was some important information. But also, Mr. Joseph, you can, help me on in case I've forgotten some of the things, or probably definition by word.
Yeah, maybe what I haven't had you touch on is the bit of the immutability, Well, one of the use cases of the blockchain is in things like record management. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so maybe it's the immutability in case maybe I just imagine a case scenario whereby you have written your land title and you've kept it somewhere, and no one has the ability to change anything on this land title. So with the current Web 2, with the Web 2 you can, there is no way you can protect that from. So in that, it's trying to solve the problem of counterfeitism. So that's how the immutability bit of it comes in. So one of the characteristics of the blockchain is that it's immutable. So maybe you can as well talk about other characteristics of the blockchain.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. I think that was also something that is very crucial. Yes, storing things that cannot be tampered with. So probably the other thing is maybe can be determinism of smart contracts. I don't know. Like you create something, and that's again in the line of immutability. So I think blockchain brings a whole new sort of paradigm shift, and that in itself is something that um, is something that is great. So the thinking, the culture around it is something that I think should change in the way people perceive things, in the way all builders or people perceive stuff. Yeah. So because um, sometimes you find that in case you come when you think, okay, what is this thing called blockchain? Is it going to be like I'm going to be in a Web 2 sort of environment? It is not actually the same, because blockchain has all those advantages. Now things like, for example, decentralization. You too can run a node and verify transactions and be part of the rewards. Recently, Starknet just decentralized its like everything from sequencing, and actually they have a validator node, so you can be a validator on Starknet. All these things, as long as you have the capability, that means the internet and the requirements that are on that page, anyone anywhere can be can run. I can, for example, I can make that I can relate it to mobile money. Just imagine whenever you make a transaction mobile money, there are a set of rules. Anyone can verify those transactions and be part of the gas fees and take part of the gas fees. So that's sort of decentralizing in the blockchain world. So on that link, the hash function is just the output. Given a given input, there is always a corresponding unique hash that as an output. So this hash is a security mechanism. It cannot be reversed. It is a one-way hash. Yes, I think that one has been answered. So let's continue. Maybe I can continue on the smart contracts, or so what are smart contracts? We have talked about them, but I can really summarize them, because they're one of the building blocks. They're one of the factors that we are going to be, they're one of the things that we are going to be doing a lot in this sort of bootcamp. But yes, smart contracts are just a set of rules that can give a deterministic output on maybe a given action. So for example, as we've said, the record, you want to say that, let me say you have, you want to say that if so and so dies, or if a certificate of death is presented, then this smart contract should automatically transfer this amount of tokens to this wallet address. So if you deploy such a smart contract on the blockchain, and there is a trigger, so a trigger is maybe the death certificate number of and the name of the person that has died. The the tokens will be automatically transferred into another wallet. So these smart contracts they are not smart, but they give a deterministic output based on how they have been programmed. And yeah, so to speed transactions, a set of rules called smart contract is stored on the blockchain and executed automatically. A smart contract can define conditions for corporate bond transfers, insurance, and much more. Yeah, based on their own like unique way. So they can really they have a whole facet of usage, and as we shall see, since blockchain are distributed ledgers, so we have programmability, mutability, timestamping, anonymity. As we've said, we don't know the person who owns an address, secure, and many advantages like of the blockchain. So yeah, we have talked so much about use cases, but we have to really also fuel them up, because there are very many and they are mostly usable. So these are the use cases that you can look into and develop a product. And the good thing when you're thinking in building on the blockchain, it's easy and it's better to think globally. Like you can easily build a product that as long as it has value, people will use on the internet. So don't limit yourself. Things like supply chain transparency. So many times people want to know what is involved in what they are eating, where it was grown, is it GMO, or is it grown in the lab, or is it grown in the soil, what time frame it took for it to grow, so all that data can be put on a blockchain during the life cycle of a given crop, and then that cycle so that data can be made available maybe to the consumer. And mostly this is something that is really needed during right now. So then the other thing is tokenization. We've heard about things like you want to tokenize real estate, tokenize what, but tokenization is simply meaning like having a non-fungible token representation of something physical. Let's say the new scenarios could be, let me say we have a rent as a group of people, and maybe somebody can have a token that represents their share on that renting system. Probably if we collect let me say $100 from the rent, and every one of us can have a token that represents their share. So that brings like new use cases. You could sell your share. That means that you could transfer your token, your NFT, to someone else, and then that proof that they hold your token would be the proof that they get paid from that rent, and many other things. And now this tokenization, since such industries like real estate are very capital intensive, so we can unlock capabilities where low income people can also invest and be part of the industry. And there are many other use cases. We have talked so much about financial transformation. So blockchain fueled AI, yes. So there's a lot in the blockchain and AI. One is, for example, if you want to have proofs that let's say you want to train a model to do something for you, but then you realize that your computer is computationally impotent, and maybe you want to outsource it to the cloud. The blockchain can help you to prove that the trained model that has been sent back after training it from the cloud was the information that you sent, or that it has not been tampered with, and many other things. Yeah. So there is a very high use case between blockchain and AI. So compensation optionality, this one is also something that is accepting payments in crypto, and there's a lot use case in that one. Crypto economics, people who do other things like whatever people do tokens with. Like many use cases can come up or have even come up from the use of the blockchains, decentralized lending and borrowing. Recently we've seen leasing on the blockchain. And yes, you can implement some of these in your solutions and what you want to build. So here we can, look at Ethereum and the shortcomings or the problem that Ethereum faces, which is scalability. But Ethereum is this general purpose blockchain that has given builders the power to build things on top of it. Instead of just having transactions on, it has given us more capacity to build whether layer 2s or dApps on top of it, yet as we leverage its security and decentralization. So how does this work? So if you're a user, you can the easiest way to interact with the Ethereum blockchain is through a wallet. Through a wallet. So a wallet is wallets. There are two categories: non-custodial and custodial. So non-custodial give you like total control via wallet and the assets in your wallet. So examples are like MetaMask. I think should not assume. So if you need a non-custodial wallet, you can have it as an extension.
Maybe Mr. Vianney, I have a question. Could you please, because from blockchain, you've told us about Ethereum. And what is Ethereum? Maybe if I'm wondering, if I told up to blockchain and I've been hearing Ethereum, what is Ethereum?
Okay.
Why should I know it? What's Ethereum?
The context of Ethereum, or what is Ethereum, comes from the initial blockchain, which was Bitcoin. So the way Bitcoin was is that it was a blockchain that was optimized for transactions. Let me say you want to send an asset from wallet A to wallet B over the Bitcoin network. That was how it was optimized. So this blockchain lacked programmability. What do we mean by programmability? It lacked the ability for builders to build use cases and users to use it for other things other than transacting from wallet A to wallet B. And from this is where Ethereum started from. I would not like to use the words. I want from past principles, but we can start by definition. A shared immutable ledger that facilitates the process of recording transactions and tracking assets, tangible or intangible, in a business network, reducing the risk of cutting costs for all parties involved. So this is in a simple language, it is a general purpose sort of blockchain. What's a blockchain? A ledger, or could be a ledger, or a collection of different blocks connected by chains of transactions, whereby you on top of having transacting on the network, you have the ability to build on top whatever you would want to build on. Yes. So as the Ethereum blockchain, it will give you the capabilities of of transparency, security. And what do we mean by secure? So with the Web2 sort of databases, there is a single point of failure, which is the database that is storing whatever it is storing. So with Ethereum, you have this leverage of data not being stored on one server or one system. So in case, for example, one node fails, in case one computer fails on a network, other computers can carry on. So that means that there is no single point of failure. But we have also this transparency that when given, for example, either transaction hash or a wallet address, you can check and see how the transactions that happened, whether you received a transaction or not by that address, yet keeping it anonymous. For example, as long as someone does not tell you that they own that transaction address, you will not know who owns the address, yet the blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain, will show all the details of the transactions that have been carried out by that sort of wallet. So it is the base layer where we can build use cases, where we can build things that we use and others can use. So Mr. Joseph, how best can you explain what Ethereum is?
I feel you've kind of tried to be so exhaustive on it, but maybe someone would want to know, is Ethereum the only base layer? Yeah.
Okay.
And why do we have many chains maybe built on Ethereum preferably? So I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud for a new person.
Yeah, and it is very needed. It is very needed because sometimes we can just keep continuing. But so first of all, Ethereum is a layer 1, and there are many layer 1s. Layer 1s is like other blockchains, yeah, so that maybe prioritize other things or want to be independent, you know. But Ethereum is the most used because of what it promises or what it delivers. One is its security. You realize that when you're going to be transferring assets on the blockchain, like people are transacting billions of, let me say, assets, NFTs or ERC20 tokens, they need a secure, blockchain. So even if Ethereum doesn't take in a lot of transactions in a second, it's a blockchain that is very secure, and two, it is decentralized. So there is no single point of failure, no single database, but anyone can join and validate transactions. So why are many people building on top? Because Ethereum is giving those two major things. So very many other, I can say, layer 2s have come up to solve the issue of scalability. Scalability is simply handling very many transactions in a second, because very many people would want to use such a system to utilize its transparency, its security, and decentralization. Yet it takes in few transactions per second compared on the usage required. So that's where like solutions build on top, like Starknet, for example, that will say, first we are going to bring many transactions. We are going to scale the Ethereum so that people can carry out very many transactions in a second, or complex transactions in a second, and then those transactions can be bundled together and settled as one transaction on Ethereum. So, and then so that's the biggest thing when you are having like a blockchain that is intensive. We are talking about all things that are very critical. Like, for example, somebody wants to save their will and have it untampered with. You need something that is secure. If financial institutions want to use a blockchain, they need security first. So all these things require security. That's why Ethereum is like the most used blockchain. So that's why there are many L2s building on top of Ethereum, and also there are very many dApps building on top of Ethereum. It is tested and gives the builders the ability to build anywhere, anyhow. So to a new person, coming into an ecosystem, I think that could be one of the advantages.
And how do if I want to do something with Ethereum, what does it take me, like maybe from a builder perspective?
So so as a builder, if you want to do something with Ethereum, let's say not build on top or do research on Ethereum or build on Ethereum itself. So yeah, I think as a builder, you can have two options. One is you can build directly on top of Ethereum, which is very expensive in terms of gas fees, very expensive in terms of like something that you would easily build on an L2 and have little gas fee. But in case you need something that is on the settlement layer, you can easily build on top of Ethereum. But also as a builder, you can be a researcher on Ethereum. Since the Ethereum ecosystem itself is decentralized, it's open in all fields. So you can do research, you can look at the Ethereum roadmap and take on something that interests you. You can do open source contributions, let's say to validator, because to validator clients or execution clients. I don't know, as a builder, like the options are endless. You just need to know that this actually, as Joseph started, what do you want to do in the ecosystem, and then you follow that path, because you might be a contributor, maybe for example to the Besu client or Nethermind or to Ethereum core itself or to specifications. Like there is everything in this ecosystem. So as Ethereum itself, itself is a layer that has a life, it has a future, that it has a roadmap, and then there are many teams, and you just need to know what you want to do, and then you follow that. So there are people like people who are in the guild and that make sure that they bring information from maybe ethereum.org and align with the roadmap. There are those who deal with specifications. So Ethereum itself as an ecosystem has work, and you can concentrate on it.
Yeah, you've tried to answer.
So probably, I don't know, is the work too much? Also the chat seems to be a bit silent, so I don't know whether I've been very fast or the work is much. So but yeah, that's kind of the view of. So, and this is a good question: is Ethereum a cryptocurrency as well? So Ethereum, actually, I think from our start we have not talked so much about, or not talked about, cryptocurrency that much. So a cryptocurrency is a tiny bit of the blockchain space, or is a tiny bit of the blockchain space. So Ethereum is a blockchain. It's not a cryptocurrency, it's a blockchain where cryptocurrencies can be deployed. Actually, where many cryptocurrencies are deployed, some with utility. Utility, we mean some with usage, maybe they're used as gas or other things, or as transaction costs, and some without utility, like meme coins and so much. So Ethereum is a blockchain that probably cryptocurrencies sit on. Yes. So which language shall we use? So for this session, I think we shall be using Cairo. Mr. Joseph, are we going to be using Cairo or Cairo and Rust?
Yeah, so let me talk about the programming language. So Starknet is entirely built on Cairo, and Cairo is also a programming language that is inspired by Rust. So we may have a slight introduction, a quick introduction to Rust, then dive deeper in Cairo. So we shall use Cairo to build our smart contracts on Starknet.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
but for this session is entirely an introduction. We are not going to have any coding.
Mm. This session and it is really good. Like it's maybe sometimes people don't really introduce blockchain and someone is confused what it is. So yes, I will have the questions that are coming in. Chigos was asking, are we going to code? So this is the first session. We are clearing the air. We are not going to code in this session. But trust me, the coming session is a coding session. So if you're excited about coding, that will be in the next session. I think what else could we have introducing the blockchain. We have talked so much about the use cases. We can talk about wallets actually. So the most of the way you interact with a blockchain is through your wallet. So your wallet is sort of an extension or an app on your phone that stores your keys and your assets. So I think in the coming sessions we'll learn how to install your wallet, how to install wallets like Agent X, Bravos, and things like that. But just know this is the way you interact with the blockchain, and wallet store assets. So one of the security precautions you have to take is to keep your seed phrase and your private key. Never share it with anyone. But you can have both cold and hot wallets, custodial and non-custodial wallets. So this is the best way we interact with a blockchain. We can also interact with a blockchain through smart contracts. Yes, so we shall be seeing that will be in the coming sessions. What else? So there's the thing we call consensus. Consensus is simply a set of rules that has been put in place for how transactions will happen. So yeah, for example, there is a consensus where there is a way that a transaction is deemed to be right or wrong, or violating maybe violating the rules or not violating the rules to be accepted. So this is all done in what we call the consensus. So this is actually consensus is simply done by nodes, those that are validating whether transactions are right or wrong, and this validation has both the execution layer and the consensus layer, but those I think are deep. So some of applications built on top of Ethereum itself. This is a good thing. So if you want to know Ethereum, and we have request network. Request network is actually like Web2, but here you're doing for example, invoicing, things like invoicing, things that you do with supermarkets, invoicing, cash receipts. Yeah, you can do them with request network on the web, on Ethereum, with a lot more transparency, security, and all that comes, all the advantages that come with Ethereum. So there are quite very many apps. Yeah, I know Agent X and many more. So you can look at what has been built on top and then inspire yourself to build something better. So smart contracts, we have talked about smart contracts. A set of rules, deterministic input, an input with a deterministic output. Yes, so probably if you want to have a smart contract, you're going to define that this A will trigger this action, which will trigger this action to give this as an output. And then when you deploy that on the blockchain, it is a smart contract. So that's basically how I see a smart contract. So examples like vendor machine, when I give it this coin, it will dispense this type of drink. So I think I've I've reached the end of my session. I might have been very fast or very slow. To those that have not grasped, I welcome feedback. Let's post in the chat, in the Telegram chat. I'll always be there to respond. I know Mr. Joseph and other people here, can respond and make sure that everyone is on track. Okay, I think I can give it back to Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, maybe I would want you to elaborate more on smart contracts. You haven't really been exhaustive.
What is really a smart contract? So smart contract, for some of us, that not for some of us. So a smart contract is like a programming language. Actually, it is not like smart contracts are programmed to and deployed on the blockchain to perform a given task. So let's say you have you want to store your deed on the blockchain. So what you do is that you program your deed in a smart contract, whereby you list all the the things that are in the deed. So and so takes this and this, and when this is supposed to be shared by this, and then that is then deployed on the blockchain. So smart contracts are simply used to, when people hear the word smart contracts, what comes to mind is that these things are smart or they self-automate. No, these are programs whereby you have tasks that you want to accomplish, and then you put that into a program. And when you deploy it on the blockchain, it gives you the capability for those smart contracts to become live. So they can they can be accessed through a wallet address. Let me say you do a transaction. So a transaction on the blockchain, a transaction can go through a smart contract. So you can trigger an action in the smart contract, or smart contracts can trigger actions in other smart contracts. But yeah, this is how I feel I can best explain what a smart contract is. We can see examples. The other thing is maybe is if I'm writing a code, so which I'm not writing today. But yes, any other explanation? Can you share the presentation later? Okay, is it? So, Mr. Joseph, anything I've left out?
Now, I think for me, you've tried to be, you've done your best on smart contracts, and maybe from a layman understanding of smart contracts in the blockchain, I would explain it in this way, that if at all I have my Web2 application, and we usually have a front end which connects to the back end through an API. So in the Web3, for example, if I have my DApp, yes, Mr. Kot, you're welcome. Yes, Okot.
No, Joseph, I wanted just to throw some light on smart contracts, but you can first finish.
Yeah, so let me just trying to. I know many people have this layman understanding. For example, if I have a web application, it has an API which bundles the back end. So I connect the back end to the front end through the APIs. So in a smart contract is this whole, in the Web3, a DApp, the smart contract is like the whole bundled back end. So we just, any front end talks to the back end, which is our smart contract. I just want us to understand in a layman's understanding as that. So maybe Okot can throw more light as well.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much of it. Maybe for web developers, I would say just as you have if statements, sort of an agreement. So look at the smart contract being a digital agreement. that is signed and stored on a blockchain network. So, for example, if like they gave example of like a blockchain use cases. Let's say with an insurance company, you say, for example, if you insure the car against an accident, and then there's a smart contract, like Mr. Joseph explained at the back end, saying, if you happen to get an accident, and then the insurance company is supposed to disperse this amount of money straight to your account or buy you a new car. So it's like a digital agreement that is signed and stored on a blockchain network. So typically or technically in Web2, you have it as maybe these statements, like if this happens, then what? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okot. That was a pretty clear explanation. Yeah, and thank you so much, Vianney, to add anything before I say something, maybe in our closing remarks, or you finished?
I'm really finished. I thank everyone who is here. You know, we are. I think we are all in the industry as Africans, and all I want to encourage us is let's broaden our mind. We are building for the globe, not for where we are, not for Africa, but that's a place that can accommodate every one of us. So let's open up. And yeah, this is a great field in whatever direction you go, whether it's a job, whether it's a startup. Mr. Joseph has been talking about grants program. Let's go for this. Like, let's take out fear out of ourselves and build for the globe. There is someone willing to consume your product from wherever you are, or yeah, take on your skills. So thank you so much. I think that's all I can have for now. And thank you everyone who is here. Like, people are here, and they are taking in. I appreciate. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vian. So our next sessions are going to be more of practical sessions. Yeah, so once again, this is the Starknet Bootcamp. So it's a boot camp, and the whole essence of the boot camp is to train us to train developers and try and onboard them on the Starknet ecosystem. And then we explain why Starknet, we cannot rule out the tremendous work Starknet is doing in terms of scalability. And as of now, Starknet, I think, has bridged EVM. Right now, I can write through, I think it's what Kakarot is doing. So I can write for Starknet and at the same time write for some EVM chains. So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes in Starknet. Yeah, so and we appreciate everyone on the call. So this is going to be a 1-month program, and it's going to end on 7th. And at the end of the program, those who finish with this program, they will be able to retrieve they'll be able to get their proof of attendance that they graduated from the Starknet Bootcamp. And what this helps is that, when they're looking into things like maybe, as I talked of their seed grant program, when you possess this SPOK, you can call it like a digital certificate or a proof of your attendance that you are aware of what Starknet is doing. So it holds some water when you really have this SPOK. So we have sessions Tuesdays and Fridays, and besides in the Christmas period, we shall have a session on 20th. Then we shall not have a Tuesday, we shall have on 27th. So maybe I'm going to share all these details, but Vian can talk about our Telegram channel, and then maybe he will close it up. Thank you.
Okay, so most of communications can be found in the in the Telegram channel for Starknet. So we have the Central Code Telegram. The link was put in the description. So in the Decentral Code, there's a special channel for Starknet. So you can inquire on whatever issue, on whatever question. The best way to take on this and to benefit most is to be active when we are not having sessions. It is very deliberate that we have these sessions on Tuesdays and Fridays, given their weight. So please always, always engage. Even just recently, there is a hackathon for Starknet Calimero on Dora Hacks. Yeah. So someone was inquiring about physical sessions. So far I'm assured of the online sessions, but I think that will be clarified in the sessions in the Telegram by Mr. Bossa. Yes. So do we have physical sessions?
No, we shall not be having physical sessions for now, unless need arises.
Yeah, so there is no physical sessions for now for the base camp. Okay, so I think with that, I want to thank everyone. Let's keep building. Let's keep engaging. Yes, have a great time.